Spring is synonymous with rebirth. Things are starting to grow, and the season is an invitation to start anew. Part of that may be a household purge, but instead of simply throwing away all that unwanted stuff, recycling may be an option. Kent County releases a recycling guide every year that is a helpful reminder for all of us. We've got Micah Herbold. He's a waste reduction educator for the Kent County Department of Public Works. Micah, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about what you do, why you put this out every year, and why this is important to everyone who lives in Kent County.
Yeah, so the Kent County Department of Public Works has a communications and outreach department, and I'm one of the waste reduction educators there, and we try our very best to get as much information out to folks about recycling, how to dispose of things properly, and this guide is a piece of that whole kind of endeavor. We try to make sure that we have guides that go out at different times of the year that might correspond with times when people might be looking at what they need to do with some of the stuff that they've been collecting and where it has to go.
Right, and obviously spring makes sense because it is a spring cleaning time. So let's talk about some of the things that people should be aware of, things that they can recycle that they may not think that they can.
Yeah, so basically what we try to do is think about what are the kind of 5 main categories that people think about when it comes to recycling: paper, plastic, glass, metal, and then anything that fits within those categories that they're coming into contact with when they're doing that purging. Can some of that stuff go into the curbside recycling bin? And then we try to think about some of those other items they may come into contact with that they're like, hey, what about this? One item that we put onto our guide was garden hoses. You wouldn't believe how many garden hoses actually come into our recycling center, but they are not a recyclable item. So we try to make sure people are aware, because we want to make sure that they have some sort of guidance, but aren't making those decisions that can cause problems for us at the recycling center.
Yeah, absolutely. And you do offer some really great handy ideas of take that garden hose and repurpose it, recycle it yourself, basically in your own home, right?
Right.
Let's talk about hazardous materials, because that's something else that you guys deal with, and people really do need to know how to dispose of them properly.
Yeah, that's true. So we have some 5 locations around the county. We call them our Safe Chem drop-off locations. Different hours at every day of the week they're open, where people can drop off household hazardous waste that they don't want to drop down the drain, they don't want to put into their trash can, but we can take them, dispose of them properly, make sure that they go to a place where they're not going to go into a landfill. And then we also have our swap shop, where if there is leftover material in those, say, containers of cleaner or paints or things like that, then we can put them in our swap shop. Folks can come in and then take them for free and use them rather than them actually being disposed of. So it's a free service that we offer to residents, and we just encourage people to take advantage of it.
Okay, perfect. What are some other things that you see that people are often trying to recycle that they probably shouldn't be? Yeah,
so they might be trying to recycle something that is recyclable, but maybe that shouldn't go into their recycling bin.
Okay.
Right? So oftentimes people, when they are cleaning this time of year, they have bits and bobs of like metal, right? So maybe they just finished a project and they've got some old car parts that are heavy metal that shouldn't go into a recycling bin because they could break some of the machines that they'd come into contact with at our recycling facility. But they could be taken to a scrap metal drop-off. We have some in the county, but there's a lot of scrap metal facilities around the county where they would take that for free or even pay people money.
Okay, there you go, right? If you can get paid for it, even better, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. And so if people are interested and they want this guide, how do they get that?
Right, so we have it on our website, reimaginetrash.org. You can go there. It says recycling guide right on the front page there. They can go there and it'll have our spring recycling guide on there. And then if they have any other questions that aren't on that guide, they're able to email us at recycle@kentcountymi.gov. It'll come directly to my and my coworkers' email box. We'll try to answer those questions as quickly as we can so that they get that information and can make the best choice when it comes to those materials.
Wonderful. And just out of personal curiosity, what about batteries?
Those are a really big one for us. I appreciate you bringing that up. So batteries are becoming a more and more big issue in the waste stream overall. There's just more of them as things get more and more electrified. We do encourage people to use our Safe Chem drop-off locations for any rechargeable batteries, any lithium-ion batteries, even the little button batteries that might come in a watch or something like that. we can take those for free. We'll dispose of them for free and properly. But then the other guidance we give folks is just the regular cell batteries, what would be kind of your normal alkaline batteries.
Sure, like AA, AAA.
Yes, yeah. As long as it's not rechargeable, those are okay to go into the trash as long as they're completely done with the charge. But there are some facilities or companies or organizations or stores that are starting to take them. We just haven't verified them yet. So they could possibly drop them off. I've heard a few of them be mentioned before.
Wonderful. Micah, thank you so much for sharing all of this with us. I want to make sure everything goes to where it needs to be. So get that spring recycling guide. Reimaginetrash.org for more information. You can also follow them on Instagram and Facebook. I'm going to do that. I want to follow you guys on Instagram and see what you got going on there. Yeah. And then, of course, the Kent County Recycling and Education Center right there on Wealthy Street. We'll be right back.